So let us introduce our guests. Let's hope we have a great battle. We've had the non-farm payrolls today. There's plenty of volatility in the financial markets, plenty of opportunities. So let's see what we can come up with. Nick, Leeson, please introduce yourself.
Well, obviously, my name is Nick Bencino. I'm always best remembered for my part in the collapse of Barings Bank in 1995. So started work in the City of London at the age of 18, way back in 1985, Big Bang era. And have traded since that time, bar a short period of 4.5 years in prison in Singapore for the aforementioned scandal that I got myself involved in. So, bar that little holiday, I've traded since 1985, principally on a desk, but then in the last 15, 20 years as a retail trader, as many of you are.
Thank you very much. You weren't able to smuggle any mobile phones or anything to trade from in any creative ways then?
No, the problem, Simon, at that stage was mobile phones were too big. You know, if we had smaller mobile phones, maybe it might have been on the agenda. But at the time, it was those bricks, the Motorola's, and the aerial would have caused problems as well.
You didn't even have a Nokia 3210 with Snake on then. We're sort of trying to show our sort of reference points here.
Not at all.
Perfect. Nick S., how are you doing? How many financial institutions have you managed to collapse in your trading career?
Well, nothing until crypto. And then when I got into crypto, there's a few that we can't really talk about. Look, I've been trading for like 20 years. I actually started trading age of 16. I was still in school at the time. I started with stocks. Didn't really get along with stocks. Moved into Forex. Traded Forex for like 16, 17 years. No, actually, probably longer than that. And then I got into crypto the last few years. And yeah, I mean, that's my story. There's not much to it. Just been trading my whole life.
Awesome. So we've got plenty of experience then today. Train battle, lots of questions to ask. And of course, as usual, we have 3 challenges as well. And also we're putting our traders on the spot to try and find some creative ideas. So if they're taking that hint, they'll be looking through their MetaTraders frantically to try and find some opportunities. As usual, 3 challenges I've just mentioned. The first one is we're going to be looking at the back of the non-farm payrolls, the biggest jobs report that comes out of the US the first Friday of every month at 13:30 UK time, where we are. Obviously, that has now happened. So I'm going to ask our guests to potentially find a trading opportunity based on the back of what's happened with that news results. And with my usual level of preparedness, I have absolutely no idea what the result was. Hopefully, Nick L will. Nick, what are you looking at?
Well, there's a few things, Simon, to be honest with you. I mean, I think I've said in the past, my trading style is contrarian. I like to buy on dips or sell into rallies and take a position around that. So with Bell coming up in about 10 minutes in New York or so. So there's been some fairly big movements after non-farm payroll. I think the number came in just above 500, 520, something like that. So much better than expected. The currencies, the dollar's very strong against euro and sterling, which will be the only 2 currencies that I follow. The Dow's come off probably 250 to 300 points since the announcement as well. So fairly big movement. So these would be opportunities that I would try to take to buy. Sometimes that buying can be like catching a falling knife, but hopefully I'll pick the right one today. So sterling is moving back down towards the 120 levels, trading 120.12. I'm going to look to buy around that level. As you know, I'm not hugely technical in terms of the way that I look at these markets and chart them. It's more, everything I do is quite short term. I'm not looking to hold anything for 4 or 5 days or something. It's just a matter of hours. And I think trading around the big that key number around the 120 level, I think for me presents a bit of an opportunity. It's probably off 170 pips since yesterday. So I'm going to buy sterling at 120.10.
That certainly is contrarian because the pound has been against the US dollar has been getting absolutely hammered recently. I mean, if you look at like a weekly or monthly chart, we're down to some serious historic lows. You know, you have to go back to sort of the 1980s, I believe, off the top of my head, to sort of see us below 120 for any sort of sustained level. How long do you think it'll stay down here?
Again, not being an Forex expert, it's probably not really the thing for me to answer. The thing that, I mean, I just think back about 10, 15 days ago when the euro went to parity as well. For me, that was almost a trade that you do without looking, right? How many times have we been at parity? Never. There's going to be some support around those levels, be that central bank or be that the banks getting involved. So I took that trade a number of times over the last probably 2 week period. And I think as we get down here as well, I mean, I know that the Fed is far more aggressive than the Bank of England and the ECB, but the Bank of England raising rates 50 basis points yesterday, you know, they're showing up at least, right? So I do think that there will be a certain amount, even with the move that you've seen today, there'll be a certain amount of profit taken in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you mentioned, you know, that was the largest interest rate rise, I think, since 2009, I believe, when obviously we're on the back of the subprime mortgage crisis. Obviously, the UK central bank predicting that we're going to be entering, the UK is going to be entering a recession, possibly to the end of 2023, of course. Our two politicians, or the two who are vying for the leadership of the Conservative Party, are saying that's not going to happen. Very optimistic from our politicians, so we'll see. Nick S., what are you looking at, please?
I am looking at Euro USD, very similar to Nick, actually. I'm doing a bit of a contrarian approach. We're seeing a massive reaction to the non-farm payrolls, and it's headed into like a minor support area here at the 10.015, and it stalled out there, but then continued to fall. I'm going to build into a long position here. This will probably be my first long, but ideally I want to get in long a bit lower, probably down here at the 1.012 would be my target. But because it's a trading battle, I'm not going to wait. I'm just going to jump right in now, and I'll add to the position if we get lower. Because, you know, trading battle, I'm not thinking too much about risk management. I'm thinking about just going all in and winning some money for charity. So
exactly, that's the way forward. That's the way. Exactly. We'll cover your losses. It's all right, and the charity will get you wins.
Do you know what? That's the way I used to be, not thinking about risk management, and we all know what happened. I'm only joking. Yeah.
So I will limit you to these smaller accounts. We know your history in that respect. We don't need to take down 8 cap. You're only allowed one every lifetime. Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, okay. Nickel, we do have the US Open in the next 5 minutes as well. So we can obviously see quite a lot of volatility in that respect. So I think we'll probably just hold off any more trades until we have the US Open in 5 minutes. But if either of you gentlemen do find any opportunities once the US does open, feel free just to interrupt me and put a trade on as well. So do keep an eye on your charts when we do get that New York Wall Street Open as well. But I think we'll just start off with a couple of questions that we've had. I mean, Nickel, this one's probably going to be very relevant to you because it mentions trading floor. Someone's interested, emailed us in and asked, what's the most you've ever won in a day on the trading floor?
Do you know what? I don't know if I could give you an honest answer to that. When they made the movie Rogue Trader, they have a bit in it where Ewan McGregor is looking at himself in the mirror and he says, I, Nicholas Leeson, have won $50 million in one day. And you know, my positions were huge. I think we've spoken about this before. I think if, in terms of Nikkei 225 futures, I was long something like 60,000 futures contracts. I was short 100,000 option contracts. So we're talking about lack of risk management. This is the poster child for lack of risk management. It was, the positions were obscene and the P&L, the P&L flows were colossal. So, there'd be days that would be, the margin call would be 100 million. The next day it might be 150 million. We might get 50 million back on a Wednesday, have to pay up another 200 million on a Thursday. And London kept sending me, which is one of the reasons why it went on as long as it did during in that period. But, I suppose, and these aren't trades that I was taking that day on the trading floor, but because my position was so big, the answer to the question is somewhere between 100 and 200 million, $200 million. But that's just as a consequence of the legacy position that I had at that particular time. Most people on the trading floor, especially in Singapore at that time, they're trying to, just job in and out of trades really, really quickly. So, you'll be on the bid and somebody will hit your bid and immediately you'll go on the offer to try and take benefit of that particular trade. So not, bar the big investment firms, not a lot of position taking, just people looking to get in and out, keep their positions quite flat. And Jason, if Jason was with us, and unfortunately he can't be, he was one of those guys that traded on his own account and would have been very quickly in and out of trades, scalp.
Yeah, that's understood. Well, some pretty big position sizes there. I don't think we're going to be able to match that, Nick B, are we?
No.
What would you say?
No, I don't think you want to.
I'll reframe it differently potentially. What do you think potentially your best ever trade is then? I mean, you can frame it in a percentage if you want in that respect. What are you most proud of, investment or position?
That most proud of, it's an interesting question because most proud of, it won't necessarily be where I made the most money.
Yeah.
But I think people rather hear where I made the most money.
Yeah, sure.
That's what people are more interested in, right? So yeah, I'm going to go with the crypto side of things because the most money is definitely in crypto these days. And you can make absolutely absurd returns if you get in early. And that's really the trick with crypto, getting in early. So 2021 kind of is when crypto really started to take off for this last bull run. And when crypto starts to take off, what happens is a lot of new cryptos will start launching because they see all the hype and everyone wants to launch their crypto because they want to get in on the hype and they want to get in on the bull run. So I started looking for cryptos that were launching. I found this meme coin. I don't know if you guys know what meme coins are, but they're just basically cryptos that have absolutely no use, no utility, and they're just a joke. But for some reason, they do crazy returns. I invested a little bit in that because I was capped to how much I could invest. I could only put in $600, unfortunately. But that all in all went to around 2,000 times the original position. So $600, 2,000 times that. I didn't obviously hold it all the way to the 2,000 times because that'd be crazy, right? But I did cash out some profit along the way. And I turned 600 into several $100,000 on that position. So that's probably the most I've made on a single trade, from like 600 to a few $100,000. It was pretty good. But that's crypto for you.
That is pretty good. That is pretty good as well. It's interesting, the sort of contrast, isn't it? Nick, what are your views on crypto and experiences? Because we've got sort of contrasting sort of approaches, if you like, to instruments that tend to get focused from you both.
Yeah, I always stick with the ones that I've used over the years. So, and it's a strange one because I'm naturally drawn to volatility and there's plenty of it in the crypto space. And I kind of, I look, if crypto was around back in my day, it might not have just been the one bank that we spoke about. It could have been seven at the time, could have even possibly been an exchange. I don't know. I suppose over the years, and as much as I'm drawn to that volatility, so I tend to trade the indices more than anything, and at certain times of the day when I know they're going to be moving. Crypto scares me, so it's great listening to Nick and hearing those stories, and a 2,000 return of 2,000 times is exceptional. And it's nice to hear that those opportunities exist, but I probably try and keep away from them. So as soon as I hear the word crypto, 1 ear goes deaf, just in case I get involved, right? This is my money, not the bank's money. I do take, and this isn't meant to be facetious in any way, but I probably take a little bit more care of it these days, and that's born out of experience. And I know that if I got involved in that crypto space, it could all go wrong really, really quickly, and in significant amount. And I'm probably best kept away from it. It's one of those sort of things. But I think it's fantastic for people, and I've got some friends who are really big in the space, and they bought Ethereum, as Nick said, they bought Ethereum really early. They bought coin really early, and they are now benefiting from that for the rest of their lives. They made that amount of money, and everything's about timing, getting into things early. And I'd love to hear Nick's views on how you choose which one of these cryptos you get involved in, how many are going to survive the course, because I don't think it'll be that many, but I get accused of being old and a bit dated about my views. And is it going to just be Bitcoin? Is it going to be Ethereum? Or are they going to be, these things sort of, popping up time to time over the next 10, 15 years? It's a space I find fascinating, but not fascinating enough to trade it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think there's a couple of things to pull from that. One is maybe stay in your lane, stay in your area of competence.
Yeah.
You're an index man with a sprinkling of FX as well, and obviously, Nick is doing something slightly different as well. I mean, what I would say for Nick's point of view is he's cynical, but he is critical about crypto. He's certainly not a fanboy for the sake of it in that respect. I find him quite balanced. You find a lot of crypto people are very hypey and sort of over the top with them as well. Would you say that's a fair assessment?
Yeah, no, a lot of people are almost religious when it comes to crypto. For me, answering Nick's question, I don't think most of these are going to survive. The one that I made 2,000 times on, I haven't looked at it lately, but last time I saw it, it was pretty much dead. And I got out because my approach is always very strict on the risk management. I know not for the trading battle, but this is a different scenario. For my own money, I'm very strict with risk management. So I like to get in and get out. There's a few projects I believe will stay the course. Obviously Bitcoin and Ethereum, and there's a handful of others, but even them surviving is questionable. It just depends how bad the current economic situation gets. It depends how bad the crypto bear market gets, because these companies could run out of money, and if they run out of money, the project dies. I tend to look right now for the ones that have the biggest war chest. One project I'm investing in is called NEAR, like the word NEAR, NEAR. They have about $1 billion to fund through the bear market, which is a fair bit of money. I think they'll probably see the other side of the bear market. But then you look at other projects that their entire war chest, their entire treasury was their crypto. They didn't have any treasury in stablecoin in US dollars. So as the crypto market crashed, the value of their war chest has gone to like what, minus 90% what it used to be. These ones don't have the money to survive the bear market, and investing in them is generally speaking a bad choice. So yeah, that's I think some of them will survive, but they'll survive to the next bull market. Will they survive for the next 15, 20 years? I don't know. But by then I'll have taken out my profit from them, and I don't really care what they do. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is. I mean, obviously a jokey comment, but I think there is some sense in it. Well, there is very much sense in that. It's a case of what do you control when it comes to investing and trading, and 99% of the time it's when you get in and when you get out. So why care about the stuff you don't control? I think another thing fascinating with crypto is just how many, dare I say the word, casual sort of people are involved in it. It's the old, if your hairdresser starts talking about investments, it's time to get out type of thing. So many people are interested in crypto, and it brings people into the trading space. I think that's certainly one of the benefits. Right, we've had the US Open. Nick L., have you found anything that you're interested in? We could jump into the next challenge.
Yeah, well, I mean, the first thing is I took a bit of profit on that sterling trade when it went up to 120.37, I think was where I got at.
It's bounced a little bit.
Yeah, it did. So it bounced about 18 pips or so. So it was a size trade. So I just took some profit on that.
Okay.
The thing that I'm looking at right now, I'm looking at the Dow. Obviously, we're open. It's stabilized a little bit. The thing that I've been noticing over the last few weeks is we tend to catch a bid a few minutes after the open. So
could you sorry, Nick, could you just double click the chart to make it a bit larger? The US 30.
That's me. So
that's no problem.
So there's the Dow there. So you can see the big sell-off that we. Sorry, I don't use these screens all the time, but
that's no problem. That's fine. People can see that.
So you can see the big sell-off that we saw off the non-farm payroll, and then we've opened up a few minutes ago, probably 7 or 8 minutes ago now, and so it's stabilised a little bit around this 32,500 level. So I'm probably just going to look to buy the Dow there. I think. And this would be interesting to get both of your takes on as well. There's a lot of talk about recession in the US. Everybody's giving positive reasons why we're not in a recession. Technically, we are. Like all my trades are short term, right? So I don't really have a long term opinion. A bit like Nick was saying, I'll trade today, and I don't really have any massive affiliation with any particular market. I'm just looking for the opportunities on that day. But for me, the markets at the moment are very sensitive to what people say, and especially Fed officials and things like that. It's not so much about the fundamentals or the technicals that we're seeing on the screen. It's, volatility's come down to about 20% these days, off of some of the highs that we've seen recently. And you mentioned politicians yourself there, Simon, and politicians are expert at spinning pieces of information, and I think the financial markets have taken note of that over the last number of years. And whatever piece of data that you see, you'll see some spin put on it by somebody, be that Goldman's, be that by some particular Fed official. So we seem to be very, very sensitive to what people are saying at this particular point in time. I didn't put that trade on. It's run away from me about 30 or 40 pips while I'm talking. So let's talking and more doing is what should be happening here. So I'm probably going to let that hopefully see that come back down a little bit before I get involved around the 32,500 level on the Dow. Okay.
Nick B, is anything taking your attention? We are going to jump into the second challenge after this analysis, which is as you know. So just if there's anything that's jumping out at you, we can jump into the next challenge after that. But Nick B, is there anything that's jumping out at you after the US Open?
Yeah, I'm looking to short USD JPY actually, but the entry is just not that good. I'm having real trouble finding a good entry right now on anything I want to trade. Okay. I want it to move higher before I take a short. If I shorted like 10 minutes ago, I would have been good, but now it's just moved a little bit too much. But again, this is a battle, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I've already closed my first position. I was $500 up on that. So I'll add to that. Well, I guess not add to it because it's closed, but I'm going to take an additional. Let me just switch over to the chart, right? So you can see that I entered here and it shot up pretty much right from my entry. I just cashed out some profit around here. I'm waiting for here on Euro USD for it to jump down to here for another entry opportunity. So that would be ideal, or USD JPY short from around about up here, where it was at the 135, essentially the psychological level. That's what I'm looking at right now.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, was the bounce on the euro-dollar trade bang on the US Open then? That sort of hammer that's there. Was it? Was it just before? Yeah, I guess that's the same thing that Nick managed to benefit from on cable as well. Yeah, well, maybe it's slightly before. Okay, right. I think with you sort of priming up some markets here, I think we can move into our second challenge of the day, which I think is going to fit nicely for the timeframes that you are both looking at as well. The second challenge that we have today is trade the 5-minute time frame, which is the time frame that most retail traders end up killing themselves with. But I love the 5-minute time frame. It means I can click my mouse lots of time and get all those endorphin hits and then be depressed at the end of the day when I've blown another trading account. Never mind. So, Mikkel, is there anything on any 5-minute time frame in the world that is currently interesting you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you what you pick on that basis, and like I'm only really looking at a couple of markets. So I'll go back to the conversation we just had a couple of minutes ago. I'm going to buy the Dow. I think obviously we have CPI numbers next week. I think it's Wednesday next week for the next read on inflation. I think there's enough positives out there to suggest this market, and again, the market's moved as I'm talking. It must be that there's a correlation between me talking and the market moving, so I don't get involved. But I think there's enough positives out there to suggest this market can still move higher. The jobs data was good, earnings have been good. And I think they'll continue to be good. At the back of my mind, you worry about the way that the Fed has been referring to inflation as being transitory for the last couple of years until they change their stance on that, and whether or not they're actually going to be able to tame it or control it. But if they do, I think there's a leg up in this market. And back through that 33,000 level, and I'd even be hopeful that we'd get close to that level or closer to that level again today. So, as with the philosophy of my counterpart, because it's a trading battle, I'll take the trade anyway. Although I would like to be buying a little bit lower, and I've probably missed an opportunity to get. Well, I have missed an opportunity to get back into sterling whilst I was talking as well, because it's went down to about 120.24. It's popped back up to 120.38 as well. But I'm going to buy Dow at this level.
So a couple of lessons here. Don't talk when you trade. Don't do a trading battle when you're looking for opportunities. I think what's interesting as well is just a point on news trading there, because we can see how the Dow fell off. I think it was 250 points that I've charted up myself on the news, and the NFP news that I finally looked at was a significant beat. And when you first start trading, you sort of think, well, positive news is going to make the stock market go up, negative news, it'll make it go down. You quickly learn that it's a lot more complex than that, and trading the news isn't quite as simple as that. Nick B, is there anything on a 5-minute time frame that you are interested in?
Honestly, I love it when Nick talks, because then I can just take my trades. And I got in at the right time. And I'm already up quite nicely on this one. I got in long on AUD/USD from pretty much as you see here on my charts. I think I might have got in a bit higher than that, somewhere around here, but already up a little bit. I don't trade the 5-minute charts. I think it's absolutely crazy. I mean, I know some people who do it successfully, but it's not my style. But like I said, trading battle, so I'm just getting right in there. I was just looking for something that was still close to the lows it made post NFT. That's what I was really looking for. I hadn't looked at AUD/USD yet, but then when I finally opened it, I was like, oh, AUD/USD is still close to those lows, whereas everything else has already made its move away. So I jumped in long on AUD/USD, and it's already started moving away from those lows. Let's see how it goes. I've got my target set up here, but honestly, I'm probably going to close this out way before it reaches up there. Now, also, I agree with Nick L. I do think we're probably going to see a leg up in this market. I do think for now, anyway, the bottom is in. Let's call it a local bottom. I'm not going to say that we're not going lower over the next few months, but for now, I think the bottom's in, and I think we're going back up. So 100% agree with that assessment.
Yeah, I mean, the question is how much longer is this US dollar just going to be so strong? I mean, obviously, 5-minute time frames, it's not quite a long-term view, but it's yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. I thought you said you were trading ADA at the moment. Isn't that the crypto you hate? I was just waiting for a rant incoming, but it was AUD USD, thankfully.
I'm not trading that. No, never. I'll short it. I'll short that all the way to zero.
I'm going to set him off. He hates it so much.
Which one's this?
Cardano ADA. Okay. It's yeah. There's a lot wrong with that project.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll start a movement to short that crypto.
I've already been short. I've shorted that thing from like $3 down to I can't remember where I took profit, but I think it was slightly above $1. I took profit too early. It's such a crap crypto that I should have known it would drop even lower. But I thought it would find support at $1. Dumb.
And then it spited you and went even lower. Yeah. He's not a fan of that one. Right. Okay. Let's move on to some of our audience question that's been sent in. Nick L, what does your trading routine look like these days?
Look, it's very different from years ago. I'm up early, so I'll work out what I'm looking from a support and resistance perspective. But as I've said already, everything for me is quite short term. I trade around the opening bell, so opening bell Europe, and again in the afternoon for the New York opening bell. The reason quite simple, and I think we've thought the markets are going to move during that period for an hour around that sort of area. I'm 55 years old, and I don't really want to be sat in front of my screen for 12 hours a day. So it really is just an hour in the morning, an hour in the afternoon, and those particular time slots, because the market's going to move. I don't want to be, you said what am I looking at on a 5-minute chart that's interesting me at that particular time. I don't want to get involved in that sort of stuff. I want to cater my trading to my lifestyle and the way I like to trade. And I'm not looking for every single tea. It's just about focusing on that time of the day and trying. I probably take something like 8 to 10 trades a day, 5 or so in the morning, 5 or so in the afternoon. Like to be done and dusted by 3 o'clock and go and do something that I enjoy doing. Not with the trading side of it, but as you all know, there's good days and there's bad days, and the bad days hurt. So I like to step away from it every now and again.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're trading the high volume time, sort of European, US Open. I think the point there with trading is quality over quantity. Sometimes just doing sort of a small amount of high quality sort of focus and trading is better than sitting all day, and it's difficult for new traders to get a head around that, because you're used to, in most jobs in real life, should I say, the more hours you do, the more the better it generally is. Whereas trading, sometimes less is more, and I think for new traders, it's very difficult for them to get their heads around it as well. Nick B, tell me about your trading routine.
I am not a routine person. I just get up. Well, to be fair though, I do get up at a pretty consistent time, but I don't really have a trading routine. I just some days say, I feel like looking at the charts. Some days I don't. I've got a lot of other things going on that take my time away from trading these days. On the crypto side of things, there's a lot of projects that I'm building. I'm not cryptos. I'm not making a crypto. I don't want to do that. But there's a lot of stuff I'm doing in the crypto world. So honestly, I don't really get to trade that much anymore. For all of this year, I've not done very much trading other than buying and selling a few cryptos. On the Forex side of things, this is probably the first time I've taken a Forex trade all of this year. So my trading routine is pretty much no routine, unfortunately. I wish I could give you a better answer. We could go to my trading routine from like 2 years ago, which was, I guess pretty consistent. Wake up in the morning, draw my support resistance areas, and look for trading opportunities around the support resistance areas. I don't use much technicals. I don't use indicators. I just draw some lines on the chart and buy or sell, depending on whether it's at support or resistance. So wake up in the morning, draw your support resistance, and take some trades.
Yeah, look, I'd agree wholeheartedly with Nick there. I think sometimes you can think about it too much. I think support and resistance. I want to be in the trade, right? I don't want to be sat there thinking, waiting for all these different indicators to align before I take a trade. I'm a risk taker. As you've experienced, I'm far too much of a risk taker, but trying to curtail that somewhere. But I want to be in the trade, right? I want to have the courage of my convictions, and whether it's long, short, or whatever, I'm going to take the trade, right? So I'm not waiting for that. I'll do, as Nick said, I'll do the support and resistance levels, and then not really think about it too much from there. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, right? We're all wrong sometimes. And you have to get used to that, and it's about learning from those times when you're wrong. But yeah, don't overthink it. It's just get involved. That's my philosophy.
Yeah, I think you're both
100%
relatively
agree.
Yeah, I think you're both relatively similar, and you're primarily price action traders. And you can, the phrase is analysis paralysis, isn't it? Where you just load your chart of tons of indicators, and indicators are ultimately just generally 4 data points anyway, from the open, high and low and close of the bar charts or the candlesticks anyway. So once you've been trading for a while, you don't need an RSI on your chart, for example, if the market falls down, to know it's going to be oversold. So it depends. Everyone has different approaches, but I'm the same. Very, very simple price action trader, and then just try and hopefully manage risk and not blow too many trading accounts, and that's considered a success. We've got another question as well before we go into our final challenge. So, Nickel, if you had to pick one asset on a more sort of contrast with the sort of short-term trading that we're doing at the moment, either 1 to 5 days, if you had to pick an asset that you were bullish for until the end of the year, is there anything that comes to mind?
No. I really no. The answer is I don't think that far ahead. Really, it's
the VIX.
Yeah. I don't know about that, to be honest with you. I think at the levels that we see at the moment, and I'm not a current, but I think the euro probably might be worth a punt. I mean, I think Nick's doing quite well out of that still. If he got back into that at the moment, it's popped back up to 101.72. I flipped in and out of a gold trade there. The thing for me, right, and going back to my history, carrying positions overnight and long term was what really got me into the mess that I got into. So for me, everything now is day trading. I'm either right or wrong today, right? So sometimes I go home. I don't go home because I'm working from home, but I stay at home and I can talk to my wife, and the dogs are safe. Sometimes I'm wrong and I don't talk to my wife, and the dogs are in trouble. That's kind of I like starting. For me, my philosophy is quite simple. Start every day with a blank sheet of paper, and that when I started to run positions overnight in Singapore, that was taken away from me, and then it was all about trying to protect the position. And as it got bigger, that just started to everything just got more risky. The position, just got bigger and bigger throughout that period, and then that element of choice was taken away. So what I want more than anything else is that element of choice every single day. So blank sheet of paper. What am I going to do today? At the end of the day, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, happy days, but I'm not carrying anything overnight because, for me, and it might just be a flaw of mine, it'd be interesting to hear your views. If I've got a position that I'm carrying overnight, it influences my trading because I'm thinking about it, right? Mm-hmm. So, we spoke previously, Simon, about doubling up or averaging or whatever you want to call it. Whatever that position is, it's going to influence what I'm doing. So I want to start every day with a blank sheet of paper.
Yeah, I think it's okay, and it's always inevitably the losers that you end up holding on to. But it just re-emphasizes the point that what works for you, doesn't it? Your trading personality, what your strengths and weaknesses are, whether it's assets or holding overnight, and then you just stay in your lane, don't you? So the only right and wrong in trading and investing is if there's consistent profitability and risk management. How a trader or an investor achieves that is down to them as well. People get very protective over their sort of methods, don't they? Things like that. But it's just a case of, everyone's a little bit different. So we didn't manage to get an answer out of Nick L there. I'm gonna commit him to the euro. He says the euro. He says the euro. Which, to be fair, given the historic lows of the euro and pound versus the dollar, you know, if you were going to say what is it going to be higher or lower by December, you'd probably have a fair shout of saying it's higher. But who knows? Nick B, is there any asset then that, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a traditional asset. It can be a crypto, your area of expertise that you were long-term bullish on until the end of the year. What would you pick?
It's a tough one because I really don't think anyone knows how this year is going to turn out. Like we spoke about the recession and how pretty much every government around the world is denying that we're in one. They're redefining the definition of recession. I do think that we are at a local bottom, but you know that's probably going to last a few months. But you know, there's not that many months left in the year, to be fair. So if I had to pick one, I'd pick Ethereum. We're coming up to the Ethereum merge, which I'm not going to go into too many details because I know crypto bores a lot of people. Nick L already said he goes deaf in one ear when he hears crypto. So I won't bore you guys with the details, but the Ethereum merge is coming. I do think that's probably going to lead to some bullishness on Ethereum. Bullishness, is that even a word? That sounds weird.
Yeah, it's
it's so I'd say Ethereum. If I had to bet on anything right now for the most returns that's going to go up by the end of the year, I'd say Ethereum. But it's going to be a tight one because I still don't think the bear market is over. So, you know, if by the end of December we're up or down on Ethereum, I'm not sure. But if I had to pick one, it'd be Ethereum.
Okay, so that's interesting. So we're looking at potentially euro. I'm going to commit it to euro dollar, Nick Allen. When we do the trade battle in January, I'm going to ask you about it. Although, to be fair, I probably would have been sacked by then. So we'll see. We'll see what happens before then. What time are we on? Right, we're on about 45 minutes. So this is the high-tech part of the show that hopefully will be slightly more successful than the long-term health of the scoreboard on this battle. So challenge 3 is we're going to be spinning the wheel, and then the contestant is going to have to trade that asset and hold it for the next 5 days. So the rules are we're going to spin a wheel. That's going to pick an asset, and then the contestant has to hold that trade until we conclude on Tuesday as well. Right, producers, can we get the wheel up for Nick L? Here we go. Let's spin that wheel. There we go. This is where all the money goes into these high quality graphics. Are you already trading the Dow?
No, I closed.
Okay, right. Well, you're in luck. Have it again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and spin with Nick B first. Give you a little bit of time to think about the Dow, and probably miss an opportunity while we go there. Right, Nick B, let's spin this wheel. Why haven't we got any low cap cryptos on this wheel? That is a depressing. Let me pick the assets next time. We're going to have Dogecoin and Tesco.
Sorry, I was going to say I hate this challenge, but me and my team came up with this challenge. We suggested this to the trading battle. We're like, oh, we want to give you some challenge ideas. How about I spin the wheel? And now I've had to do it twice myself, and I hate it.
Good. Well, I'm just going to create you a custom wheel that's just ADA. Right, you've got gold now. Right, Nick L, is there anything on the Dow that you can see at the moment? As long as you get it on before the end of the battle, then I'll accept that. It doesn't have to be immediately, but as long as you get it on by the end of the battle, something you're going to be holding for 5 days. Let's have a look at your charts.
And we have to, we have to hold for 5 days, do we?
Yes.
Or can we? Oh God.
Let me just read.
That's a lifetime for me. You know that.
Okay, well we can modify that if you want. I'll give you some discretion on that. It says in bracket next 5 days, but I'll delete those brackets on my notes. That's no problem. There's my delete key. I'll probably close the browser.
Well, look, I mean, it'll be no surprise. I'm going to, for all the reasons that I've said previously, I'm going to buy the Dow before the end of this session. It's just ticking off a little bit there, back to 32,600. So in between. The last couple of challenges, I closed the Dow trade. I also bought gold and sold gold. So I've had 3 nice trades so far during this session. Not quite as nice as Nick's first one, but they're there've been reasonable returns on those. So I will buy Dow. I might not just buy it right now. I think we've probably got 5 minutes or so to go, but I will buy Dow before the end of this session and hold at least until Monday.
Are you going to be able to sleep at night?
No, actually, no. That's the whole weekend. No, no. I might.
The market's closed. You can't do anything over the weekend. It's not like crypto. It's not 24/7.
Yeah, no. I'll be looking at the weekend Dow and see what's going on. No,
the made up CFD market.
Yeah.
Okay, Nick,
that one.
Nick B, tell me about the beautiful position you're about to take on gold.
I already took it again. I took the opportunity of Nickel talking to get into a short trade. I'm not up anymore. I was just about to say I'm already up, but it's just shot back up. But it's not doing too bad. I took a short trade. Look, I don't really trade gold. I just took a bit of a guess here. Not a guess, it's an educated guess. I put up a support area based on this bounce here. This nice little V-shaped bounce here, and oh god, I'm screwed. Okay, battle over. I'm down 2.2k.
What position size did you go in?
I went in with 10 lots.
Wow. Now I know about fat finger trades, but that's a fat finger trade, isn't it?
Okay.
I was doing so well.
I hope it goes. I hope it goes well.
Spin the wheel didn't say 10 lots. It just told you what instrument to trade. It didn't force you to the position size like that. You're either going to set your charity up for life or bankrupt 8cap. It's one or the other. Nickel, right, onto the purpose of this stream and why it's fantastic that 8cap do sponsor this stream. The broker we all work with, they have a huge range of cryptos and great spreads, raw markets, and they also have TradingView now, which is a fantastic platform that everyone loves as well. So do check 8cap out as well. But the whole purpose of this stream and why it's very kindly sponsored is to raise money for some fantastic causes, and there's been tens of thousands of dollars raised for great causes. So those of you watching and supporting the stream, thank you very much for that. Nickel, who's your charity, please?
Well, mine is the charity that I use every time. It's a charity called Rosabel's Rooms, local charity here in Ireland. Unfortunately, some friends of ours, their very young daughter died, and they were just shocked by the lack of support that was available and places to go for grieving parents and grieving siblings. So they provide places in hospitals where people can go to start to work through that grieving process. So it's it's a personal, there's a personal association with it as well, and they do really, really good work.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, it's even better that you have that sort of personal connection to it. A wonderful charity. I'm sure everyone can understand why you've selected that. Nick B, which charity are you trading for, though? Probably doesn't really matter now after that gold trade.
Yeah. I'm trying to get out break even. I might be able to do it, but we'll see.
It's
how
close.
That goes. It's getting close to break even. I might be able to pull it off. And then I think I'll ride to victory on my other trades, which are doing quite well. So we'll see how it goes. I don't normally trade gold. It was I should have went with a few less lots. Anyway, I'm trading for the MS Society UK. Great charity. Obviously, they're a charity for multiple sclerosis. I've had a few friends affected by multiple sclerosis throughout the years. And yeah, it's a pretty horrible disease. Basically, your body kind of wastes away. Well, it doesn't waste away, but your ability to move your body and control your own body goes away. And it's a pretty horrible thought, thinking, of that happening to someone. Like not being able to, I hate it. I don't want to think about it. I love the charity. I always give to MS Society UK. So that's the charity I'm supporting.
Yeah, they're both absolutely fantastic charities, gentlemen. Well, thank you very much for putting on all these trades. and making you hold over the weekend. That'll be deeply uncomfortable, strictly for you, Nickel. So we'll see what happens. The results will be announced on Tuesday all over the social media that the Trading Battle do. Have a look in the description, have a look at, and you can follow those social media channels. Please do subscribe to this YouTube channel. There's plenty more fantastic trading battles are to be done. And if you're lucky, they won't be hosted by me as well. So the double bonus there. But thank you very much for watching. Do subscribe to this channel. Do tune in next time. Good luck with your trading investing, and thank you for watching.